the films, prominent films, sorry for my pronunciations, yeah, it's very difficult with the Italian, the exception, La Grande Bellezza, A Face of an Angel, Il Resto di Niente, and La Mano di Dio. She will definitely pronounce it. Among the TV serial also, Mars, then Inclined del Cobrosti, and among her commercials also, Persol and Enel. And she's got a degree, a diploma from Centro Sperimentale di Cinematografia of Rome, and a diploma of Accademia di Belle Arti, Naples. I mean, she's very, totally educated into her costumes, and she's been in so many variety of costumes. So now it's a kind of a treat for us all what she's going to present. So I welcome you, Daniela. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for inviting me here.
Do you need this here?
No, it's okay for me. No, because otherwise when we see the clip. Thank you very much for inviting me here. It's always a pleasure to be with you in India. And my first time in India was last May, when the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Italian one, they spread all over the world 100 of Italian ambassadors of cinema, and they sent me here in India. And it was my first time, and I found a really incredible world. I watched before that period, I watched a lot of your movies, but I never was here, never been here before, and I'm really happy to be here again. I started my career in Naples, in Italy, in the south of Naples, in the 80s, and in that period in Naples, it was only theater, not cinema, because in Italy, cinema, it's something that you can study and work in Rome. Rome is the capital of that, in Italy. I was born in Naples, that's why I started my career there. And I'm happy about that, because I think Naples, it's a little bit hard city, but full of a lot of energy and inspiration. And this is something that I bring with me in my job. What I think is really important in our job, it's to be curious about people, because cinema is something that speaks about people, and that's why you need to be curious, especially if you work on costume. You need to always look at the people and study the people and the way in which they move and what they wear, because all of us, we are different. We are all in the same place in this moment, but we are all dressed in different way. That's because we are different, and all of us bring we bring in our clothes who we are. That's why it's something really, really important to watch the people, to be curious about that. I started my career studying set designing, because at the time in the 80s in Italy, in the Academy of Fine Arts, costume was under set designer. That's why to study costume, you must study set designing too. After that, I started to work in the Opera House when I was studying the second year at the Academy of Fine Arts. And it was the period in which in Naples a lot of company from foreign company, they're coming in Italy, and they stay in Naples, and they live in a bit, like the Living Theater. The Living Theater, they was born in New York, but they spent a lot of time in the 80s in Naples. And it was really important because, of course, we can get a lot of inspiration from them. And I was with them in a lot of master class and study of theatrical study and representation. And we get the representation everywhere in the city. It was a really amazing experience. And after that, I started to work in the Opera House. And in the same time, I was studying at Academy of Fine Arts. When I finished the 4 year at Academy of Fine Arts, I got the application to the School of Cinema in Rome. And because there the teacher and my mentor was Piero Tosi. Piero Tosi is the costume designer of the old important Italian movie like Visconti, directed by the Visconti or Zeffirelli or Fellini. They are the really biggest the one that we get in Italy. And I studied with him and I was so lucky because they took me and they brought me in this school. And we were just 6 for 2 years, and it was an amazing experience. And this was important for me because I understood the method. This job, it's something that you have to put your creativity, but you also have to learn the rule, and you also need to know very well all the method in which you can work. And this is something that I studied there with him. And after that, I started to work, and you know, our career is like this, one step for every time. I prepared for you some images and some clip, because it's impossible to speak about movie without images for me, for all of us, I think. And there are some things that I would love to share with you. What costume means, and the relation between costume and fashion, because they are not exactly the same. They are two-way. They go really near, but they work on people, but they are not the same things. And there are a lot of other things that I love, of course, to speak, but this is it's a sort of preview of what we can imagine for the future. And another thing that I love to study better, it's the relation that there is between Italian cinema and Indian cinema, because I discover every moment that we are really similar in a lot of things. In our big history, in our tradition, realistic tradition. I watch a lot of images of your movie that remind me our neorealistic movie. And this is something that makes me really surprised, because in one way we are so far, but we are really near in another way. And this is something really interesting to study, I think. Those are some points. What is the role of costume? Costume must show in a movie who the character is immediately. Before the actor speaks, you need to understand who he is. And you can show this with costume. Costume, in Italy, costume take care also of hair and makeup. Of course, we don't make it because we cannot do everything. But we work really near with the hair designer and makeup designer. And we can choose the one that we like work with. And because we need to work together because we work on the same actor and we must work together. This is something different in American movie. In American movie, we are really different branch. But in Italy, we are all in the same. And the head of the branch is the costume designer. After is also another important point, which is our relation with the director. We need to help him to create his fiction, his fictional space. We don't speak about, even when we speak about real life, we prepare not real life. We move in a fictional place. And everything must work well in the same way. The director is the one that have the first idea, and the project is his project, but we work with him to help him to make it possible in the right way. And for this, we have two possibilities. We can work on color, and we can work on shape for create our creation, because we can change also the shape of the actor with the costume. That's why costume and fashion are not exactly the same things, because we are all fashion and costume, they speak about people and they must be interested in the people, but and all of them represent the moment, no? They represent the area in which they lived. But with costume you can also make show the soul of the character, and you don't have also only to make the actor well shaped, well faced, well done. Sometimes the script required the actor must be bad, dirty, you know. That's why it's a little bit different, the way in which you work on clothes. Another important point, as we discussed before, is the costume must be credible, but they are not authentic. We are creating character, but they are not authentic character. But the people must trust in what they watch. That's something really, really important. And of course, they don't have to see the sign of the costume designer. Everything must look real, and they must trust in what they watch. This is really, really important. And for this, we use a lot in cinema the details. The details are really important. In cinema, the details, all the button, the necklace, the earrings, they are really little details, but they can tell a lot about the character. In theater, we work on details in another way because we have the distance. We work on color in another way, on the fabric too. In cinema, we work more near with the camera. That's why all the little details are really, really, really important. And when we discuss a project with the director, normally we speak about